All right, they're going to take a break there in New Hampshire. Gives us an opportunity to bring in our guest this hour to discuss. Joining us from Santa Fe, New Mexico, criminal defense attorney John Day. Hi there, John. All right, we were listening to the defendant on the stand. Direct examination. Cross will be coming up shortly. What did you take away from his testimony? I mean, he was even saying, he was talking about his police interview. I have nothing to hide. It wasn't as if I was thinking this was legally justified. What are your takeaways?
Well, I'm watching this thinking, how are you putting together your self-defense defense here? I mean, you've got a guy who talks about shooting the mother of his children and then wanting to go get brunch. I mean, the jury is looking at this. It's a tough road for the defense to establish self-defense here. First of all, self-defense is generally someone was in danger, I was in danger, or someone in front of me was in danger of death or great bodily injury. In this case, he thinks that the daughters are being held hostage by the mother. So he's got to establish in the minds of the jury that somehow there's an immediate threat, there's an imminent threat that he has to end by shooting the mother. And that's something that's going to be really hard for this jury to swallow. You know, they're personalizing his testimony. They're thinking to themselves, I know people in tough situations. I know how people react. This guy is saying, I had to shoot the mother of their children because she was going to take them away. They're watching how he testifies. Is he credible? This seems very, very rehearsed, obviously. This is not sort of a conversational or relatable testimony, I think, in the eyes of the jury. So this is a tough one. And I still get hung up on the idea that after shooting this woman, he decides to go to Applebee's for a nice brunch.
John, how do you think PTSD, him being a Marine veteran, he was asked about that, he was describing his service. How do you think that will factor into any of this?
Well, the defense is going to hope that this is a huge hook for them to hang something on for the jury. The idea that he serves his country, he's a Marine sergeant, he sees action, and they're going to have to establish in the minds of the jury that this PTSD is a significant thing. This PTSD is something that comes back to haunt you, and it's significant enough to justify the shooting the mother of his two children.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Looking forward to see what they do on cross-examination. John, thank you. Coming up, the cross-examination of Dustin Duran, the defendant in this case, is coming up next. We will be right back. Well, let's go ahead and bring in criminal defense attorney John Day. John, okay, well, this cross is not, I mean, it's going great, I guess, for the prosecutor, even though I'm not certain about her demeanor when she's questioning him, but, I mean, he just doesn't have any good answers.
Right, and, you know, the conventional wisdom is prosecutors are not that great on cross-examination. That's not always the truth, but the reality in this case is that she's making the point she needs to make. You know, again, in cross-examination, you just want the witness to be nodding and agreeing with every single thing you say because you're telling your side of the story, and you want that witness to agree with everything. And generally, that's what is happening here. But you know, his demeanor is very different, of course, than on direct when his own lawyers are asking him questions. His back is up. He's a little defensive. He doesn't know where she's going, and so there's a lot of uncertainty there. And the jury, of course, is picking up on that. But this prosecutor, I mean, she's making the point she needs to make. There's never going to be that sort of gotcha moment in cross-examination. I mean, sometimes there is. It doesn't look like it's going to be that way in this case, though.
John, one of the things that he said on cross, I was having justifiable emotions with my child being held hostage in front of me. Do you think the jurors are going to find that statement credible?
Well, the defense certainly hopes so, because that's all that they've got, the idea that somehow that he was justified in shooting the mother of his two children because he thought that she was going to kidnap them or take them away from him. And, of course, jurors they're personalizing this. They're saying, what is my life? When have I seen something like this in my life, and how do people react? And is this some reasonable response to your children being theoretically taken away? Most likely, this is going to be a very, very tough road for the defense to land this punch with the jurors. But I mean, it's really all they've got at this point.
Yeah, that's pretty much all they have. We have more of the cross-examination, then we'll have redirect, John. Anything on redirect that you would want to get cleaned up here?
You know, I just want if I'm the defense lawyer, I want to try to reiterate for the jury in his mind and with his PTSD, which they have to establish, that there was a fear, that there was, even if it was irrational and unreasonable, for this man in this moment, his actions were justified in his mind, and they're just hoping at least one juror buys into that.
Yeah, that's all they need. John, thank you so much for your insight today. Appreciate you joining us. Coming up, we're going to have more from the cross-examination of the defendant in this case, Dustin Duren. This is the Amber Alert trial. We're coming right back.